Welcome back for another 12 Days of Teardowns installment. We are going to take a look at a brand called Huron today. And as far as I know, they do men's skincare, body wash, shampoo, that kind of thing. We'll see exactly what they sell here. But I see
Right.
this brand everywhere around the web, and I really like, I don't know, just their palette, their font selection. It appeals to me. This is like my personality. It's navy, it's red, it's white, it's very American, like patriotic. It's kind of my vibe. I don't use their products, but maybe I'll be convinced to try them out today. Do you know anything? You bringing anything to the table as we come into this review?
I've actually spoken with one of the co-founders before, but other than that, not really. I have been on the site, but that was probably a year plus ago at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've seen they're everywhere, and I agree. The vibe is pretty cool. It's definitely targeted at men, and they do a good job of that.
Yeah, looks super clean, and I'm a Teach Hanley customer right now, so we'll have a battle of the brands today. We'll see who gets the share of wallet.
Okay.
I'm excited to dive in. My first reaction here is I'm glad to not see at least a time laden pop up here. Usually we see that 3 second, very disruptive, like in your face. Hey, here's 20% off right out of the gate. So I'm glad that that
Mhm.
hasn't happened yet. Maybe we'll see something on scroll depth or exit intent. I think that's a better implementation of that, anyways. But I'm seeing this scroll bar here at the top that we would normally call the free shipping bar. And it's going
Mhm.
through a couple of different points up there, which, I think could be good or could be bad. Like any moving element's going to attract your attention. And so I find myself looking up there instead of at the headline or at the product or anything else that might be more impactful. That's my first impression is I'm just really drawn to that free shipping bar.
Yeah, 100%. That's what happened to me is the first thing is I went in to look at stuff. I looked at the product photo, and then immediately when I saw in my peripheral vision the animation, I looked up to see what that was, and it was like convenience at its easiest. Shop jumbos.
Hmm.
It's such a weak call to action, quite honestly. I would just stick with the free shipping, and then you don't need the arrows, you don't need anything there, and it's not going to be as distracting. People will see it, have some comfort, and move on.
Yeah, it's a little odd to me that it's got the left and right arrows, which I'm guessing navigates you through the offers, but then the offers are moving up and down, which is a little weird. And then none of these seem to be clickable. So like if I wanted to figure out what a jumbo was, clicking on that does nothing. So it's not really a call to action. It's more just like a sound bite almost, like the free shipping, you get it, right? Orders over, there's no action that needs
Mhm.
to be taken there, but I would probably want to figure out what a jumbo is, especially if it says shop jumbos. So it feels like a missed
Yeah.
opportunity there.
Yep, I agreed. I'm not in love with the navigation either, right below that. Shop all products and learn doesn't tell me anything about what they do, right?
Right.
Um, I would really eliminate that navigation and just do hair, body, face, and more. That would really be a great navigation because I get it. You have products for hair, body, and face. And then if there's other stuff you want to do under more, okay, great. That's where I can find the miscellaneous. Um, that's going to make a much better navigation. Shop all is just a weird way to get people in, and then there's indecision happening. Really, just save that extra step because in the funnel, what they've done there is they've created an extra step. You go to shop all, then you still have to make the decision about what kind of product you're looking for, and is it hair, body, or face, right?
Hmm.
And so let people make that decision right here and skip that step in the funnel, shorten it if you will. And I do like this mega nav, but I think you could do those items as drop downs from each of the four, and be just fine. And that would even open up the possibility of having a drop down like this for hair, and then you show the product containers, right? And even
Right.
have jumbo sizing under here if you really want to. Although that's mixing context a little bit, but still. Um, so again, not a fan of their current navigation. I think it could be vastly improved by just making this sub nav the entire navigation.
Yeah, I totally agree. At least get those categories up there, and then if you click on hair, you'd be shopping all of the hair collection. You'd be shopping all the body collection. So you kind of remove the decision that is the second step in this process anyway. So eliminate shop all. Like you said, bring
Hmm.
these four up there. Maybe even call this accessories or something like that because it's a little bit more intuitive maybe than more. More is kind of like not super descriptive.
Mm.
But yeah, I think that'd be a smart play, and then or maybe just put kits up there and bundles or something like that. That would make sense to me as well. Under Learn here, looks like we've got a lot of their company links. I see some blog articles being called out here, the About Us page. I think if you're going to have this in the main navigation, it's smart to kind of bundle those things together and put them under here. I'm not sure that learn is the best descriptor of what this is, right? Like it could be more like about us would be the top or something like that.
Hmm.
Because like, well, how much are you really learning here? I guess you're learning about the company and learning through the blog,
Yeah.
but the affiliate program feels out of context there. So I'm not sure about the implementation here, but if you're going to do it, I think this is kind of okay. Just bundle them all together, keep them under one nav item.
Yeah, I feel pretty strongly this should all be in the footer. None of
Mhm.
this is main nav item information. Nobody is here to learn all things Huron at this point, right? So just don't send people back up the funnel to into your blog. FAQs where great content goes to die. Affiliate stuff should definitely be in the footer, and about us. Again, I don't think that's main navigation material. It's great supporting material as part of the customer journey, but very, very few people are going to go to this page, most likely. And if they are there, it's because you're not answering key questions elsewhere that they ended up having to go there instead.
Yeah, yeah, totally agree. All right, so then let's look at this hero section. Award-winning products for guys, skin and body care that won't cost an arm and a leg. I kind of like that messaging. I think I like the play on words there, right? Skin and body, arm and a leg.
Mhm.
I think that's smart. I think the product itself it's not like it would be something that's hard to understand from the starting point, but like
Yeah.
I think this picture does just enough. I could tell that's a shower. I could tell that's shampoo because it's written clearly on the bottle. I could tell somebody's cleaning themselves. That's all I need to know, right? And maybe it doesn't show the full breadth of their product line, but it gives me a sense of like the general category that I'm shopping within and that I'm in the right place if that's what I need.
100%. And I like normally I would say shop now is not the best call to action here, but I like it. I think it gives people the understanding they're going to take the next step. It's not, it is somewhat committal, meaning, okay, I'm going to go shop, but yeah, I get it. Where's it taking? I can't see where that
Just
URL is going
shop
to take
all.
me.
Yeah, it's going to take you to the all.
Uh, yeah, I'm not a fan of that, but yeah, I guess they're keeping it generic. So, but you say award winning. I'm wondering what awards have they won.
Right.
So hopefully they cover that further down the page.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Okay, so we're moving on down. So it's why Huron, the internet's best smelling men's products. So they must just be direct to consumer. There's no retail presence. Kind of
Mhm.
odd to call that out, I would think, right? But maybe that's just my perspective. Vegan, no harmful chemicals, and made in the USA. I mean, these are all the buzzwords. There are folks out there, I bet, that are sitting there with their little checklist, going, "Okay, made in the USA. I like that. Vegan, that appeals to me. No chemicals. That's good." So I don't hate having this section up here. At least it's kind of accentuating those primary points of differentiation, at least in the perspective of Huron.
Yes, 100% agree. I think this is, you've answered the about Huron right here, more or
Mhm.
less, right? So again, no need for anything else. And I would say award winning here, or what some of those awards were. That might be one thing to add in here.
Yeah. The only real critique I could have here is, can you show this visually with icons or something like that? Can you just have,
Mhm.
a little plant graphic, 100% vegan, next column over, I don't know, some kind of imagery that says no harmful chemicals, and then a map of the USA, made in the USA. That I think is just much easier for the brain to kind of rifle through those quickly and understand what they're saying versus trying to make sense of a full sentence with punctuation and everything. It's just more cerebrally demanding, I guess, if I
Yeah.
put
No,
that
I
into it.
get that. I think they're very clean and text heavy in their
Mhm.
brand. And so I I had the same thought up front. Normally I would recommend that, but if you scroll back up, they don't use icons on anything,
Yeah.
right? There's no illustrations throughout any of this. And of course the top right, but like, you know, I there's nothing on the product or really in the brand. I bet their brand style guide has no illustration style or anything in it. It's probably just how to use, uh, words and font acceptably. So,
Right. Yeah. Makes sense. Okay, so then it looks like they're gonna push the kits first, which I think, that's
Mhm.
an interesting choice to me because unless you've checked out the navigation, all I know is that you sell shampoo at this point, and skin and body care
Mhm.
gives me a little bit of a sense, so I can kind of intuitively figure out you maybe some lotion or something like that. But really, I was expecting to see a category lock up here with maybe some of these like three or four big bucket categories here with some imagery to support them and a text overlay, and just get me one step further in the funnel, right? Get me from the shop all step to the find my specific need, the category. I don't think kits are like a terrible alternative to that, but it's not what I was expecting because I don't even know if I want a kit. I don't know if I'm going to like one of your products, let alone three of them, right?
Yeah, 100% agree. You hit the nail on the head with this.
So I guess let's assess what's in front of us then. We're seeing kits. I'm seeing kind of the layout here and getting ready to use that for face, body, and hair. So I think there is there's a convenience play here, right? Where it's like one purchase. Everybody, well, most men like convenience. They don't like to spend a whole bunch of time shopping and in that consideration phase for certain product types. And I would put skin and body care in that category. Cars might be a little bit different, right? Computers might be a little bit different, but something like this, it's kind of like, can I click one button and have all of my skincare needs and body wash needs taken care of? That feels good to me. So that might be through user testing that they put this in here. I will say that like there might be a better opportunity still to show me the different types of kits really quickly. Like, can I see three different options for the kits? There's probably a fairly minimal one that's just shampoo and conditioner, and then there's another one that's like face care or something like that, that's like a scrub and a moisturizer and an eye cream all together. You know, I bet there are multiple options here. So again, you can accelerate the buying process by bringing those things higher up in the customer experience and just letting me pick the one that's right for me versus like, let me go look at the category page. Now I got to suss that out and reorient myself. That's my perspective as a consumer. Are you seeing anything there on this lockup?
You know, I agree with you on all of that. I think that, you know, if they had separated it out, there is room, there needs to be made room on this page for kits. Because I think that it's an upsell, it's a bundling offer, which is great to see. I don't think we should be leading with it like this, as you said. But all in all, I don't think this is horrible. I like the animated GIF. I think that they did a good job with that. It's just a little extra, but it's understated still. And you know, the text is the text. I don't think, you know, they didn't go too overboard with it in the description. And then shop kit's great. I'm okay with that. So
Yeah, agreed. All right, let's keep it moving. So then we're into hair. It looks like we're going to have similar layouts, just now we're getting into the category ones. So maybe we're in a test or something. I definitely would test bringing the categories up higher versus the kits, and then having the kits be, to your point, the upsell from an individual product. Like, oh, if you're buying shampoo, you can get a better rate if you buy the conditioner and everything else to go along with it. I don't know that I have any big comments beyond what we've already said for the previous section here. Let me know if you want me to stop or call anything out.
No, I think this is great. I would like to maybe see each of these be animated. This one is a little disturbing to me for some reason. I don't know why. It's hard to tell what's going on in that animated GIF. I don't know. It's just weird. I was looking at it like, what is that, right? Maybe zoom out a little more would probably be my suggestion. I bet if we did some user testing on this, I bet a lot of people would be confused and wonder what's going on in that animated GIF. So, but I think that they've done what we were suggesting. I would just perhaps alter the order a little bit and run, you know, it'd be a great simple test to run.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was wondering, you know, if we get into like, can you have three buttons for each of these? Like inside of so instead of just shop face, can you have what were those? Shop face wash, moisturizer, and whatever the last one was, eye cream. So can you put those three things here as options to go one step farther? Again, cutting out going to the category page and going straight to a product category based on what I see here. That's a test I'd probably run too, but I don't know if you feel differently about having three buttons kind of under. That's a lot of CTAs.
I do. Yeah. I'd rather see one instead of three because there's an overwhelm is really what's going to happen here. There's a technical term for it. I can't recall at the moment, but
I think it's a paradox of choice. Is that what that's called?
Thank you.
It's like, yeah.
Yes. Thank you. So I was like, it's something of choice.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think that that's great. And, you know, I would leave it as one, quite honestly.
Yeah.
And then you
Makes
get
sense.
some cross-sell opportunities in there. So.
Right. Okay, cool. So then it looks like this is kind of rehashing some of that about us language that we saw up above. There's the iconography coming in that I was thinking about, but they're covering a couple of different ones here. They did say no chemicals up above. Clean formula is kind of the same thing. Premium price or premium product without a premium price, like that. I mean, the legibility is a little tough here for me with these bubbles in the background. It's getting a little tough, especially on smaller screens. I could see that. And then, the pledge, this says nothing to me. The pledge, like what pledge? We haven't talked about a pledge. There's no link to a pledge. That one's not landing.
Not landing at all. I was just wondering, what is the pledge? Our pledge to you. Okay, what's the pledge? Um, are they maybe saying, this is a stretch, but are they saying that clean formula philosophy, premium without a premium, is the pledge to you?
Yeah,
Then it should say, is our pledge to you.
right.
Um, I think this is a copy miss and swing and a miss. I get what they're trying to do, but I think it makes it more confusing than helpful. And I don't know that this copy is really necessary here. They're not really adding value that they haven't already touched on this page.
Right. And I think when we talked earlier about putting these in the footer, there's a way,
Hmm.
we have an article about this, but there's a way to still tell your brand story without jamming everything up into the primary navigation,
Yep.
protecting room
Hmm.
for your commercial links. But this is one of those where you could say, clean formula philosophy. Okay, let's link to the about page where you talk about, how you come up with your formulas, the rigorous testing you put your products, your ingredients through, that
Hmm.
kind of thing. Like, let somebody explore that detail if they want to by maybe linking it here, right? But that's a way to tell your story further down the page. You've already given them the opportunity to figure out your products and the commercial side of the business. If the mission is going to be the differentiator, if the company culture, the moral stance is going to be the differentiator, you still give them that opportunity, but it's not,
Yeah.
it's not taking precedence over anything else that goes directly to your bottom line, right? Um,
Yep.
so then it looks like we're going to get into some social proof here. This looks like PR, the PR angle versus user testimonials or customer testimonials. So we see these lockups all the time. Usually it's kind of the same advice. It's like make the lines short and punchy. Most of these seem to pass that test. I recognize the brands that I'm seeing here, and they seem relevant in terms of the context of the product line. I hate to see things locked up in carousels. It'd be great to just see,
Yeah.
a 3x3 or sorry, 2 rows with 3 items each or whatever you're going to do here. And then just kind of linking somewhere on your site where that New York Times article is hosted. Don't take somebody out to the New York Times; they'll never come back. But like, I just wonder how much of this is actually getting viewed. And this looks like an issue here with the quote. So
Yeah.
there's a little typo there we'll want to fix. But yeah, I think our general advice here is get them out of a carousel and link to kind of the make the quote short and punchy, and then link to the actual source material hosted on your site so somebody can explore deeper and see, did you pay for an ad or were you actually
Hmm.
interviewed by GQ and featured as the founder or whatever.
Yep. Love it. Um, what is come hang out down below as we kind of round this out? Does it take you right to Instagram?
Let's see there, that one's a video, so let's open this one. Yep,
Oh,
so
okay. So it is
it's a modal.
pop up.
Yep.
Okay. This is good. I would love to see the product featured be linked here.
Yeah,
That's
that
the
is. I'm
biggest
surprised none
challenge.
of them have that because I've seen that on certain sites and like one or two of the photos won't be tagged. But yeah, there definitely is a
Hmm.
missed opportunity here to say, buy this kit, this exact kit here if you
Hmm.
like that, or get a gift. Yeah, it looks like these are something that you could get as like a corporate gift or a gift for a friend. So
Hmm.
if there's a seasonal campaign running there, that's definitely a good opportunity.
Yeah.
All right, so then let's see. This they're going to put the blog articles on the homepage. I know your typical advice on here, so I'll let you stand up on your
Yeah.
soapbox for a second.
Oh no, I'm not a fan of putting blog articles on a homepage like this for a B2C site. The reason being that consumers aren't here to get these articles. The articles is what brings them to your site. So if you send people back into the blog, they're basically not going to convert as high as if you keep them on your site. Seems
Yeah,
obvious, but so many brands send people back up the funnel. Your blog is higher in the funnel than your homepage. So please do not send people from your site back to your blog. Use that content. If it really is soap science, building a fan favorite bar soap, if that is really helpful content where you're talking about the science of that product, link to that and pull out the relevant bullet points and then say, hey, if you want more information, here it is on the PDP for that bar of soap,
hmm,
right? That's where it's going to be helpful. Now, 6 men's health tips with Tom Black. Okay. First of all, nobody needs 6 more men's health tips, and nobody knows who Tom Black is. Sorry if I offended anyone, but the reality here is that might be great if there's content in there that somebody Googles and then they find you, which is obviously the goal. But sending people back up the funnel with that in this stage is a huge miss.
yeah, I agree. Especially just offering two, that seems like an odd number. Like that seems kind of
Yeah.
ineffective, and if you feel adamantly about keeping this in here, I would manually curate the items. I'd have 3 of them, and I would have, like, they have to be sales enablement type stuff. So it's like
Mhm.
soap science, like, here's what makes our soap different, better, longer lasting, whatever. It's got to be some of that cultural stuff, like here's a percentage of our revenue that we give back to this meaningful cause, whatever. That's the kind of stuff that maybe will move somebody further along the consideration stage. But to your
Right.
point, the 6 men's health tips, that's not doing you any favors. And it not being on the homepage doesn't prevent it from ranking in Google and driving traffic to a PDP. So yeah, if you're going to do it, I would stick to sales enablement content. And in each of those pieces, I would have a call to action box for that specific product or a specific product, and
Mhm.
still try to get some commercial activity from it to maximize the value. So moving down into the footer here, interesting background texture choice. Kind of looks like graph
Mhm.
paper, feels a little like
Mhm.
disjointed from the subject matter that we've seen. Like I'm going to, math class, geometry, I'm going to like stuff that architecture, that kind of thing. And it just kind of
Yeah.
feels out of place here. A solid color I think would have done just as well. But what's your feedback on the footer here, John?
Yeah, I think it should have been a solid color just so that you can understand it. My guess is the designer got a little cute and tried to make it look like tile in a shower.
Mm,
Um, but the reality is you could just use the photo of shower subway tile, and which is the theme from up above in the photos, with the photo shoot was done. So you could have just pulled a screenshot of that out and put it behind here, and I think it would have performed better. But regardless of that, readability issues aside, I think I would reflip this. I would move the logo and the email sign up to the right hand side. On the far left, put shop, and then learn and support. I think those are all great. Then on the right hand side, have the logo and your contact information. The famous James Sowers Trust Trifecta is missing. They only have one, which is help@usehuron.com. Trifecta is it has been proven that you can really increase trust of your brand and the ability to purchase if you have the 3 methods of people being able to contact you: a phone number, an email address, and a physical address. The physical address, the people aren't going to send you a letter. They're not going to show up at that warehouse or whatever it is, corporate office, but they just want to know you're legit enough of a business that you're willing to share your physical address. And that makes a huge difference. A phone number, if people really want to get a hold of you, that's likely if they have an issue. Hey, I noticed some fraud on my credit card. It came from you guys. Somebody charged something. I need to cancel that order so I can dispute the charge, whatever, right? They want to get a hold of you quickly. That's what they're going to use. If they send an email, it kind of goes off into the ether, and people just don't know what they can expect from there. So it's not really reassuring. So, but those 3 in combination really, really are reassuring. So um,
yeah,
I'll leave it
totally
at
agree
that.
there. And the one thing I'm seeing for an internet first company, like shipping and returns policy would be great, or refund
Mm,
policy. Maybe that's inside of terms, but I usually see those called out as a separate line item. And on the email front, this isn't super compelling here. Like, let us help you help yourself. We'll keep things easy and hopefully entertaining. Like, what are you going to send me? Like, what do you
right.
mean help yourself? Like, is it just men's health and productivity tips? And just say that. Like, I think this is a little too clever for its own good. And you got to tell me what I'm going to receive, how frequently you're going to interact with me, and when I should see in my inbox. And then, do you respect my privacy? Are you going to share my information? That kind of thing. Just missing a couple of small elements there. I got to do the ticky tacky stuff because you nailed the structural stuff. So great job,
Mhm.
as usual, John.
All
Awesome.
right.
So any parting thoughts for the team at Huron? I mean, like I said, I kick things off by saying the branding's on point. Love the color palette. Usually the copy's pretty strong. I think it definitely passes that credibility test. It feels like something I definitely open my wallet up for. I just think the point of this conversation was to find some of those micro improvements, some ideas worth testing.
Mhm.
There's probably some opportunity being left on the table just in the way that the page is structured and kind of the customer journey that we're trying to guide folks through. So I think that's what I would take away from today. Do you have any parting words to share with the Huron team before I let you go?
I love the branding, and I think there's some great opportunity here to take this site to the next level. There's a lot to work with, and I think they've done a pretty good job, as evidenced by their growth and what we keep seeing from them. And I do think they could take it to the next level. So it'll be exciting to see that.
Yep, totally agree. All right. Well, as always, John, thank you so much for sharing your time and expertise with us today. And we'll look forward to doing another installment of 12 Days of Teardowns with you soon.
I'm looking forward to it.